Welcome to the Medical Marijuana Hour with myself, Dennis Peron, and my colleague, John Entwistle. We're going to start off with a song done by my brother, Brian, who's the cameraman. Hey, Brian, hit that. Go run it.
Do it, Brian.
Kicked out my old friends, started Red and Johnny Black. Told him to go and don't come back. I have a new friend, Herb is his name. He visits with me time and again. Herb is mild, Herb is kind. Herb is soothing to my mind. Herb's relaxing, Herb's not taxing. Herb makes me happy, sometimes I get nappy. Herb has cousins, rosemary and chamomile. When they visit, how good I feel. Walter's cousin Hiram tried to stop by. I told him get lost, don't even try. Herb and I are gonna stick together. Herb and I make for a happy fella. Herb and I, we're gonna stick together. Herb and I make for a happy fella.
Brian, I think that's going to be another hit. I think it's going to be #1 in the charts someday.
Oh, man.
Not right now, right away, but we'll work on that.
We're going to be retiring on your music, Brian.
Yeah, right, on your royalties. Well, we got a bunch of things to talk about here, John. We're talking about before the voting rights case.
Yeah, kind of a mix of stories from around the movement.
Yeah,
basically
a lot of them are all related to our subject, marijuana and medical, and they show good things and bad things. And let's go across one of the good things that no one's ever heard of: James versus the United States. What is that about, John?
Good question, man. That's the voting rights case that's coming out of Southern California, basically out of Orange County. And here's the background on this, okay? The background is two things, okay? One is the DEA is kicking some serious butt down in Orange County.
Right now, as we talk.
Yeah. Long Beach, Costa Mesa, all these places. I don't think that's news to anybody. We've been hearing about that up here. Yeah. The other is what's going on in D.C., Washington, D.C. Now, Washington, D.C. is a very special place in America because Washington, D.C. is governed by
Congress.
Damn right, man.
They get all the funding from Congress, and basically Congress is their governor.
Yeah. That's their government. That's their government. So when Congress says that D.C. can start opening up cannabis clubs,
which they said because the vote, who had been stymied, they voted the same year we did, 96, had been stymied by Congress.
They've been fighting all this time.
They have fought that they couldn't count the votes because they didn't like the subject, even though they knew what the vote count was. Officially, they could not count it.
Right.
Then Congress overturned that. And by overturning that, explain what does that mean to us?
All right. So what's going on now is that some very clever lawyers in Southern California I've got a case going in federal court, and they're basically saying that since Congress did this in D.C., that Congress is abdicating the right to dominate all the various states with their various state medical marijuana plans. In other words, they're giving up federal supremacy. They've given it up by allowing D.C. to do what they're doing. And so now on Monday, March 26th, which by the time this airs will be history, so we'll hear how that came out, U.S. District Judge Andrew Guilford is going to be doing a hearing on whether the feds can send these letters out ordering the closure of medical pot collectives in Costa Mesa, California.
Well, as I remember, John, it was 1986. Washington, D.C. voted overwhelmingly for medical marijuana.
Right.
Congress knew this. They blocked it. They went through all these things about it. They knew what it meant. They knew it was for medical marijuana.
They knew it was going to come out of that election.
Then they turned around and said, well, you can count your votes, and they could be real. They turned around, they counted the votes, 63%. People wanted medical marijuana. So that means Congress actually knew the vote before, because they
had polls too. They had really good polls and stuff like that.
Well, they counted the vote.
Exit polls.
Traditionally, didn't count it because they didn't have the money.
Right.
But Congress withheld the money to vote, to count that one.
It was unbelievable too. An act of Congress to block the spending of $1.63.
Yeah. Because they don't like the outcome of the election.
Right.
Well, don't they wish they could do that at home? He got no votes. So, well, anyway, by doing that, they knew the outcome. What they said is de facto. They said medical marijuana can happen. But they kind of implied that it was okay for Washington, D.C. to count the votes and go through with what it said. They're saying it's all right to have medical marijuana. By saying that from Washington, D.C., aren't they de facto saying that for America? So that's to be considered.
That's what this case is going to say. So March 26th, the U.S. District Judge is going to, in Southern California, decide whether they can order the DEA to stop sending out these dumb letters telling you you've got 30 days, or I don't know. Are our viewers aware of how easy it is to get busted now? I mean,
now the clubs are sitting targets.
They don't necessarily come out there with the battering ram. The first thing you hear is basically your email.
Yeah, he email you.
Dear John, you've got 30 days to stop everything.
Cease and desist.
We're really sorry you invested $200,000 and organized this club and this whole effort, and you thought it was going to be so good. It's not.
It turns out it wasn't.
You got 30 days to beat out of town or else.
And so
or else.
They're doing this information from the information that they supplied to the state.
Yeah.
That didn't require it. According to Prop 215. It did not require it, even 420, which we were against because of reasons like this.
Right. These registries, are unrealistic if you want to see this thing work. It's very unfortunate. You got to kind of let go of control.
Prop 215, we knew there was going to be some federal re-verification. We thought they were going to reschedule, and they were going to reschedule. Clinton was going to do it, and then he backed out last minute. And that's one thing he could have done, is reschedule it. And if he had, there was so much pain and misery would have not happened. So you can judge a man by what they do, but also what they don't do. And Clinton could have stopped all this pain. Instead, he chose RU-486.
But anyway, it's an interesting national discussion that is really going on in earnest.
Yes.
And they're not laughing anymore. This is going to be a serious court case, to decide these issues. So that should be that. That takes care of our first point for the night. What do you think? More music from Brian?
Yeah, it's good. Let's hear something from Brian.
Let's go back to the cultural.
Commercial.